Okay, for some reason my Wi-Fi on my mobile is not strong enough. So I'm just repositioning myself, hopefully so my head's not chopped off. So we're in location closer to the Wi-Fi. So we've got 1 minute to go. So if anyone's on here, I don't know how that works. Oh, it looks like comments will appear here. So if anyone's on this call and you can see it, can you please make a comment? But I'll still do it anyway because it's just good experience. And the reason why I'm doing this is because John Bellamy actually encouraged us all to give this a go. For what he does, particularly the LinkedIn profile reviews, he said working with people on video or on Skype is the best ways because you can, they can see you. And the reason why he was recommending live video is because it's, you know, instead of a live presentation. So if you can't be in front of a group of people live, then this is the second best. So I'm just going to reposition myself and then get my notes because I've moved, and I'll be right back. So hopefully someone's there. Right. So, hello. If anyone's there, please make a comment. Looks like no one's there, but that's okay. So I'm going to do this anyway. So what I got most out of what John shared was that he shared a whole lot of knowledge, which was great. I spent an hour with him face-to-face yesterday, which was great, and he continued consistently to give helpful advice. And so those of you who have taken up his offer of a call, his aim is to give you as much help and knowledge as he can in the time of that call. But I thought it was great. I'm just looking at my notes because they're all a bit all over the place. The things that I took out most was through LinkedIn, that he's approaching 25 connections per day. So there's something like a 1% conversion rate from people who you're approaching on LinkedIn to communicating to eventually becoming a client. So it's not the 10 or 20% like face-to-face communication does, but face-to-face communication we can't always do, particularly if we want to leverage our audience, increase our audience nationally, for instance. So I thought that was a great tip that he shared. So for me, I know people like mortgage brokers love us. We do have one mortgage broker, but I know we are a big enough community that we can carry more than one mortgage broker. We can carry another web developer. I know Gedney is open to more lawyers because lawyers refer amongst each other. Another graphic designer, just for comparison, nothing wrong with our graphic designer, but this is just so we build diversity in our community. And also anyone like a settlement agent, bookkeeper, any of those services businesses tend to love us. I'm also working on businesses that have products to see if we are good for them as well. And we do have 3 very established segments in Out of the Box. Our business stream of services, like similar to I've just listed, to support you in business, but also health and well-being sector, and also a very healthy property sector. And those 3 areas are a reflection of me as a whole business professional, and I believe all of you. So as out of the box thinkers, because you're whole people, you're not just all about business, you also have concerns in your own way for health and well-being, and also for your own personal wealth creation outside of business. So I believe we need to deliver a balanced approach and selection of services to each other to support each other, not only in business but in life. So that connecting with 25 new people, so outbound, so that means you're going to them on LinkedIn, was a great takeaway for me. And He also mentioned, I know John himself uses Infusionsoft. I use Entrepreneur as my CRM, but he also gave an excellent tip for those businesses that are under $100,000 turnover. The active campaign is quite good because it's at a lower cost level. So the only thing that I can tell out of that, it just doesn't have landing pages, but I could be wrong. So yeah, so if anyone's here, please say hello. So I thought that was another great tip because it's important to track who you're communicating with. So how long are we going? Because I'm going to go for 15 minutes. So we've gone for 5 minutes. Yes. One great strategy he shared was the frequently asked questions. And when you hear it, you kind of go, oh, duh. And, you know, because as John said, what he's sharing often has been shared before, but sometimes we need to hear it so many times or a few times before it sinks in. So the third thing that I really loved John sharing was to document your FAQs or frequently asked questions. Yay, I have someone here, sorry, I'm very excited. This is the first time I've ever done this. So, Paula, I hope you don't mind that you're here and I've acknowledged you. So thank you. I appreciate it. I'm now no longer Fleur No Mate, so thank you. I was joking about that to the group mentoring group yesterday, which Paula was a part of yesterday. And the day after Out of the Box, I just look terrible because I'm exhausted because I don't go to bed before midnight because I'm so excited and wired up and motivated from what we share. Thanks, Paula. So now back on track. So what I've shared so far, in case you've missed it, is using live stream. So ta-da, here we are. I'm simply doing this because John highlighted, if you're just scared about doing it because it's scary being live, then get over yourself and do it. I don't think those were quite his words, but that's why I'm doing it. And also to encourage all of the out-of-the-box thinkers to do so. So if you've got a little presentation that's, say, 20 to 30 minutes that you want to test drive, do it here. Do it on our closed private group because we are a trusted audience and we are here to support each other. Great, it's working. Thanks, Paula. It's good to have the feedback because it's kind of weird. I've got Facebook on my computer and it's not showing there, but I'm talking into my mobile phone because that's where the live streaming app thingy happens. At the end of this, I'll just give a quick couple of tips on how to do it. It's pretty straightforward, but I'll just let you know. So doing live feeds, John recommends because it shows your authenticity, shows who you naturally are, which builds trust and rapport. Also, I can't remember the first thing I said he shared now because I didn't highlight it, but the second thing I mentioned was he suggested to approach 25 connections per day on LinkedIn, or else get a virtual assistant to do that. So you can talk to Jay Shaw's business about supporting doing that with a set script. And it's a 1% conversion from connection to actual paying client if you're doing it every day. But still, that's connecting with people that you don't know. So it's cold connections, but it's a nice way to do so rather than live. So I'm just suggesting the sorts of people that we will be looking for out of the box using that strategy. The other strategy I loved that he shared was the frequently asked questions. So what he explained was to write down for the next 12 weeks every question as you come across it, someone asks you that is new to your business, that comes and meets you as a business professional and asks questions about what you do. So to write those questions down, to document them, but to record your answers. Then it'd be a great idea to have them in a public place. But what he said, which is the bit that is new, because lots of people have frequently asked questions. Yay, there's 2 people. Thanks, Fran. I'm so excited. I've got 2 people on the call, so 1 plus 1 plus me is 3. Yay! So we're masterminding. So if you've got anything you want to contribute, please write in the comments, because I know this is a one-way conversation, but it doesn't need to be. So I'm going through my top takeaways. Morning, Fran. Yay, Jay's here. I'm taking away my top takeaways from Wednesday night. So Paula and Fran were in the room. So if you have one top thing that you are still remembering and really motivated you, please share, and I'll share that. And I know Jay wasn't able to be in the room, but I'm sure Els updated her with Els' tech time tip that she did on the spot. So I know Jay Shaw's business probably knows a little bit about John Bellamy's strategy of connecting with 25 outbound connections a day. But he also shared about frequently asked questions. So I'll just get back to that point. So not only to document your frequently asked questions, so those questions that clients always ask you, so to document what everyone asks you over the next 12 weeks, to answer them, but then to use them as the subject matter, the content matter for your marketing. So each question can actually be some kind of blog post or newsletter, title, etc., etc. And I just thought that was gold. So we don't have to reinvent the wheel. We've already got the topics and the content. We're talking about it every day. We just perhaps haven't documented it. So while I'm just highlighting what I have talked about and what I haven't, Paula and Fran, was any takeaways that you remember that was of value to you from John's presentation? Now, this is not replacing the video footage that will be available. I know Keith gets the footage to me very quickly. So Fran's just said super simple conversations and keep it simple. Actually have the conversations, which is what, is what he's meant. And that was it. He just said to go back to that good old-fashioned, old school, if you like, networking and just initiating conversations. It's that simple. Sometimes with all the technology and the marketing and everything we've got available to us, sometimes I think we just forget that we are doing business with human beings, and it's about conversations. So it's about initiating those conversations, not with sale in mind. Sorry, my apartment block on Friday mornings, I've just realised every second Friday gets a bit of a spruce up, so they're just outside my door. So apologies for that. I think I'm about to move. Hopefully they will move, otherwise I'll move. Oh, they've stopped. Virginia, welcome. Thank you. And Virginia was in the room as well. So Virginia, I've just shared a couple of things that I got out of John's presentation. So if there's anything resonating with you, please just leave us a comment. Paula's he shared test, measure and tweak, which is exactly right. So all this stuff is super simple. We've probably heard it before. There's nothing new, but sometimes we need to hear it again, and we need to hear it in a new voice. And that's what I love about John's approach, is he's there to help, but he's not pretending that, this is all rocket science. However, he also acknowledges we're all very busy people with full lives, not just business, and sometimes we either forget or we just don't do certain things. So it's now 13 minutes past 8. So I said I'd do this for about 15 to 20 minutes, so I won't keep you too much longer. But Virginia, if there was anything that you took away from Wednesday night's presentation, please share. And Jay, if you've got any questions to ask, please do so. I'm just looking back to see if there's any questions I've missed. So Fran's comment was the going back to basics, keeping it simple. Paula's was test, measure, tweak. I've already shared about the frequently asked questions, document those, which I think is gold. And for John to initiate 25 conversations via LinkedIn. And then he has conversations via Skype because he's speaking to a national audience and possibly internationally. And he actually said, for what he does, because he will do a free LinkedIn profile review and give tips. And he said it's actually best for what he's doing online, on Skype, on video, because he's both looking at the person and then also sharing the screen so they can see what he's commenting on. And he said that is the most effective, because even face-to-face when he's doing that, because it's a specific thing, there can be a lot of distractions. And on the phone you just don't get the same, because they're not he pointing out specific things on the profile. So with what he does, the visual as well as the voice is really good. So I think we should all start playing around with technologies of, if you're a service-based business and you can show people what you can do, like on computer, is to learn how to share screens, and I think there's software that can do that. I'm sure Jay could give me some suggestions there. So Virginia's mentioned that we need a direct landing page to interact via giving content. Yes, exactly. And I agree with that. That is something that I do have landing pages. I'm playing around with them, but I wouldn't say I have them to the level that John does. And the split testing, it's always on my to-do list, but not really got around to doing it very well. But I loved when he talked about split testing was to change one thing, like either the video or the image, not everything, because otherwise you can't really track what's going on. Fran said, I got some easy ideas for video to post to Facebook, especially for Rob's business. So sounds like, Fran, as John's talking, it stimulated some ideas for you, which would be great, because Rob's Morton's business, also an out-of-the-box thinker, is in maintenance, and he can just share handy tips on how to do so many things, and then we can all get him round to do them. Yay! Jay said, keep a track if you're doing the LinkedIn conversations on a spreadsheet. Otherwise, it gets hard to track. Yes, yes, yes. I agree. I use a red, yellow, green system, as Jay knows. But when you're doing 25 connections a day, you may want to put a few comments, particularly of people that you're particularly resonating with or something. So the red, yellow, green is what I share in my mentoring. Red is the cold connection, so you've actually made contact or met them. Yellow is you've got permission to communicate and nurture, and green is when you've actually converted to some kind of paid service or product that you offer. But I can go into more detail about that, and I'm sure Jay would be open to a conversation to share her experiences as well. Virginia has shared, you can use any piece of new info. Sorry about the noise again, they've come back. You can use any piece of new information to provide value content to clients, e.g. green light. Yes, great point, Virginia. So Elle Bradshaw was motivated because unfortunately our two people who normally do tech time weren't able to be in the room. So Elle Bradshaw jumped on stage and shared an app that she has on her phone called Green Light, and therefore later in John's presentation he said you can use that as content. So you can just use that in a tip of a newsletter if that's of help to your audience, which I thought it was great. I'm just checking I haven't missed anyone's comments. Welcome, Michelle. Thank you so much for all being here. I really appreciate this because it was a little scary. Now it's feeling a whole lot better because I've got you all with me. Fran's leaving us. Thank you. Fran, you need to do them. We all do. I'm just reading Jay's comment. She's saying she's using something called Voxer, which means you can send the person a voicemail link, yes, instead of a written link. So it becomes more personal, quicker than typing messages. Excellent tip. Great. So unless anyone's got anything more, so the point of this live stream is 1, to bite the bullet and have a go. And number 2, to share some top tips that we all got from John's presentation on Wednesday night. Now, he did leave an invitation for people. I think it's a behind-the-scenes video on how you go about using your conversations to convert people from interest into becoming customers. I haven't read the full detail, but I think you can also have a call with him to discuss your needs. Now, don't be concerned. We're not setting you up for a full-on sales pitch. Obviously, if what John does in business is of help to you and it's a good fit, well, I encourage you to work with him. However, what he offers doesn't suit everybody. So he doesn't want to or need to work with everybody. And if it's not a good fit for you, don't worry about that. He'll probably come up with some suggestions of who might be a good fit. So I think it's just a really beautiful offer. I had an hour lunch with him yesterday. If I was fortunate enough for us to both get our diaries together, because I always like to see the speakers after the presentation, particularly because a lot of them travel to be with us. So yeah, and he just can't help himself. He was just sharing pearls of wisdom for myself, which I was very, very grateful for. So I might just share a chunk of this live video. I presume we can take a segment out of it to thank John Bellamy for the presentation on Wednesday night and for inspiring us all. And also to encourage me and all of us to do this, the live video stream. So we're doing it in our private members group, and I'm encouraging members to go live. So just tell us when you want to go live. So if you've got a little conversation you want to have or a presentation you want to test out, it's particularly any 15 to 30 minute presentations. This is a great way to do it because you can actually see people come on and go live. So basically, it's from my understanding. No, Virginia's just asked me. Thanks, Virginia. I'm just going to go through what I've done for the live video stream. I don't have a little tripod-y thingy, so I'm just going to pick up my mobile and turn it around, and I've used my laptop, and I'll show you the setup, so watch out. Don't get motion sickness as I move the camera. So I'm actually in my lounge room because I had to move closer to the router thingy, but I can't see what you can see, but I've got on my coffee table a stand with my laptop, and my laptop I've put here just tilted so I'm able to tilt to the right angle so I can see, and I can see what you see, my face, which is a little confronting, but it's good to see that my head's not cut off in a weird way. And no, so a tripod would be good. So top tip, get a tripod for this, but if not, just improvise and just get on with it. So it's an app. You need to go through the Facebook app, and if you want to do it in the private group, you go find the private group first, and then there's different tabs of what you want to do, post, and I think under more should be live video. I'm not sure that every video profile has access to it yet now, but I believe everyone's Facebook are rolling it out. Fortunately, I have access. I'm sure most people would by now. So check out if you do. Then if you do, then you go on, call your live stream a name. I've had 2 goes at this. This is take 2 because the first one didn't work because I lost signal of my Wi-Fi and it dropped out. So you need good Wi-Fi. And then you just start talking. So you are actually in a room. I'm in a room talking to myself, and then I can see as we're live. So I've got a big label saying I'm live, and then I have an icon that's showing people that are looking, and I guess you then come in and join. I'm not sure what the user experience is like. And then it comes up down the bottom that someone's joined, so I can see when you've actually joined the conversation. I don't think I can see when you've left, which is okay. So I believe there's 4 people online on the call now. I believe Fran had to go. So I would believe that would be Paula, Jay, Virginia and Michelle Skeen, I think I saw. Welcome, Michelle. Hope you're feeling better. Unfortunately, Michelle couldn't be in the room because she wasn't 100%. Okay, Virginia's just asking me a couple of questions. Do you mean go to your group or do I have to go to my own group? Well, you go to the group, Virginia, that you want to do the live stream on. So I didn't want this to be on my public profile being the first one because if you saw the very first part of this, I'm moving around, so it's all a bit strange because I wanted us to do it privately in our members group. So if you want to do it privately in the Out of the Box members Facebook group, you're more than welcome to do so. I would just recommend a couple of days or the day before, just say, hey everyone, I'm planning on being on at this time, and then you can people can let you know if they can be on with you. And for the first one, I've tried to keep it short. So I've gone through the content I plan to, as this is the test drive, because you also need to be mindful of people who want to be on the call with you but also need to leave. So allow them to know when you've finished your content. Jay's just left. Thanks, Jay. Thank you for the feedback. I don't feel so scared now. So yeah, I hope I've answered your questions, and I hope I've shared everyone's comments. I think I have. But thank you so much. So I'm going to save this on the private members group and our Vimeo channel. And I'm also going to just take out the chunk where I thank John for inspiring us to do this. So let's get another conversation happening next week. So if you're wanting to do this, just jump on this group and say, hey, I'm going to be on at this time talking about this, and then people can let you know whether they're going to be available. But, you know, even if people don't respond, because I didn't really get much response myself, and I got more response when I was talking to people face to face. So just do it anyway and see who comes along and see what happens, because I think everyone in the group gets a message saying that, sorry, someone's saying thank you. So my pleasure. Thanks, Paula. Thanks, Virginia. Thanks for being on the call. I'm losing my train of thought, so I think this is a beautiful time to end the call. So anyway, what I'm trying to say is just have a go at this, practice in our private group, and then do some live streams on your profile or your business page. And that's kind of presentations you would normally do at a public speaking opportunity. And I can talk to you about content about that, because that's what I talk to people about, particularly in mentoring. So all my mentoring clients, hey you guys, you need to get on here. So I'll be encouraging you to do this. Anyway, thank you so much and have a beautiful Friday. Thank you for those who were in the room on Wednesday, and thank you if you weren't there, that you are going to be there next time, which is the 12th of October. So bye for now, and thanks for your support, those of you who are with me. Bye.